Make sure I do have audio. Yep. Okay, cool. I'm gonna put this on social media. Where else am I gonna put this? Hey Jim, how's it going? I would have been doing some solar today, but it is quite windy out there, and it probably wouldn't have been good anyway. I don't even know what the sun actually looks like as far as views-wise. I'm probably going to be disappointed. This probably is something really cool on there. Okay, there's a few suspended prominences. Not too bad, not too bad. There's a huge suspended filament that I see in a central disk. Look at that right there. Wow. Got some nice, like, raining towers on the side. Yeah, it's a shame. Oh, that's cool looking. Looks like a fire tornado on the side of the sun. That's cool. Hey, Pete. Yeah, finally, tonight, after 42 days consecutively, I will finally have rain. Imagine that. But we're going to be doing this kind of like a combination video too. I am going to record this as well, because I'm going to be putting this into a YouTube video here afterwards after I'm done. But I finally got a little bit more data last night. We're now at about 32 hours of data for this target, and I really don't want to have to do any more. So we're going to go ahead and start the recording. All right, now that we have everything stacked, we've got a total of about 32 hours worth of data on the Spaghetti Nebula. Hopefully that this is enough. This is going to be kind of a recording also from a live stream. If you happen to see here, hi, how's it going? Say hi, YouTube. But let's get things rolling here. So this is straight out of the stack, and I still have to deal with this really nasty halo. But that's going to be pretty easy to deal with. But let's go ahead and get this background extracted right now. Go ahead and remove the stars. And good thing you are here, Pete. You can kind of help me work through how you got the spaghetti nebula, looking at the previous data before, looking as nice as you did. Because this will be very, very nice, if so. Also, by chance, I will be in the Discord as well, in the voice channels, if anyone would like to join in on that. Also, we'll turn my mic off in there so I'm not feeding back. Computer's being a little extra slow today because I've put it through so much abuse. It's also with the 2x drizzle, so that's not helping matters much anyway. I need to resample that beforehand. So how was everyone else's lovely Saturday? We've been dealing with more crazy wildfires in the region again. So it will be nice to actually get a little bit of some rain finally tonight, but it's not going to be much, but what can you do? Alright, stars are extracted out. I will say, it definitely looks cleaner than it did. So this few extra hours looks like it's helped. Also, I never really noticed that there was some structure here with that nebula next to it. Interesting. It seems like always in the UK region that it's so rainy and disgusting all the time. Like, it seems like depressing living there, to be honest. Okay, let's go ahead and do some DBE. Do my normals. 2 for tolerance. 8 for shadows and relaxation. Smoothing factor, we're going to do up 0.6. Sample generation, 98. Samples per row. Don't need all the ones for inside the nebula itself because we don't need to count those. I'm actually trying to save a little bit of that structure in there. Get it away from that corner where there is a little bit of nebulosity. I know, it seems like you guys never get any, like, sunshine over there. So how in the world do you do astrophotography then, Pete? Well, it seems like it's always raining there. You need to send your stuff to Starfront. Alright, let's try that. Subtraction, normalize, disregard background, replace target image. There we go. Smooth it out nicely. Go ahead and add our stars right back in. If I know where pixel math is, there it is. Add it back right in. Get rid of this. I'm going to go ahead and resample it now. It's not going to hurt matters anyway. 50%. 2x drizzle. $30,000. Oh my goodness. So, like, what time of the year do you actually get, like, the most clear skies? Is it during the summer months? We go ahead and now do some image solver, because I got rid of the image analysis that was on there. Because we'll do color calibration, then blur X after that. A little bit of some noise exterminator too. It's wild to see how much stars are in this field of view. And more than likely, eventually, once I extract it out, you know, and already start stretching the image, I'm going to have to take this over to Photoshop to get rid of this stupid halo. Only certain stars give me the halo with the Optilong L Ultimate. Only just a few will do it. Which, funny enough, when I was doing the Ghost of Cassiopeia and with Navi, you would think that would give me halos. No, not at all. Only attack in Orion? Nope, doesn't give me halos. This random star that I don't remember what the name of it is, does. Which I'm going to have to actually look it up and see what is the name of the star that's near it. Let's see. Where is Capella? There's Capella. Nope, that is Cepheus. Oh, it's Elnath. Elnath, apparently. Visual magnitude of 1.6. Happens during the winter. Huh. Interesting. Oh, yeah. That makes more sense because you don't really have much in the way of duration of night skies. I would have figured because of the winter months, you get like any wind that's coming off from the waters that you would get clouds like no other. All right, I'm going to go into SPCC. I know this is frowned upon of doing SPCC with this, but I want to preserve at least some of the star color back. So this is why I do this with this image. Especially if I'm only just shooting HA and O3. All right, restretch this. It's probably going to look really weird, yeah. All right, now time for some blur exterminator. Gonna do correct only first to correct anything off on the sides. Even though I do have to step this down to F4, I still get a little bit of some elongation of the stars in the corners, but that can't be helped. Yeah, did not have any problems with the stars in Orion's Belt at all. Even with the HAO3 data. No problems at all. It's so random on what star gives me the halos. It's weird. I'm wondering if it's just like where the position is of these bright stars. Like if they're like closer towards the edge, then I get the halo, which the only thing that would actually make sense. Stream is telling me poor quality, but it's looking like it's okay. Okay, so we got DBE done, we got SPCC done, Blur Exterminator's done with the 2 runs. Just do one thing of Noise Exterminator. So with Halo's gem, I just find it that it's a little bit easier in Photoshop to do it. The spot healing tool is usually very nice, but SETI Astro does have a blemish removal tool now that you can use, but I have found that it works for some things, but like I tried this before when I was stacking the original data that I had for this before last night, getting more of the data, and Photoshop was just easier like to do it. So okay, we got that. Go ahead and remove the stars so we can preserve them for later and stretch them. And we'll start stretching the actual nebula in itself. All right, so this is our stars. Go ahead and rename those. Stick it off to the side. That looks yummy, doesn't it, with the auto stretch? All right, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. Go ahead over to GHS. Go ahead, set our midpoint here just to get it stretched enough. And if I'm doing something wrong with this, Pete, please let me know. I will not be offended. GHS is still the backbones of, like, the bear of my existence of trying to get this to work. But I'm going to go ahead and start stretching. Okay. Start working on a little bit of the back. Just gonna find a good point, like right there. Set some local intensity. It's definitely pretty easy to really make this grainy, unfortunately, for this target. Okay, let's see what we got here. No. Let me bring the symmetry point back a little bit. Okay, that pops pretty good right there. Still looks a little grainy to me, unfortunately. But hopefully with some noise, so a little bit more noise reduction will kind of help take care of that. Let's go over to linear. So we can set our black point back. Get some contrast going. It definitely does pop a lot more, I will admit, now with that extra few hours of data from last night. Not sure what that was. Yeah, it is looking pretty good, but I'm afraid to try and push it any more than this. Because I can already kind of see that it's starting to get a little grainy. Hey, Astrolotl, thanks for joining. You can also say hi to YouTube, too, because this is being recorded for future video. Yeah, I don't think I can push this any more than this here. So I'm pretty happy with this, actually. There's a lot of faint nebulosity in the background, too, which is really cool. And I never even knew this had structure to whatever this nebula is that's next to it, which is really cool. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And I'm going to take this over to Photoshop now to take care of, for one, the corner here, which has a little bit of green. This is actually from another star inside of Auriga. But then I'm going to take care of this stupid halo that's there. All right, let's go open up Photoshop. Yeah, trying to get the compromise between the two is the hard part, unfortunately. Definitely gonna have to do some noise reduction to this later. But this is what I use. I just use this spot healing brush. And sometimes I do have luck going around that. Of course, I have to be careful around the edges there. And boom, halo's gone. Magic. Get this corner that looks weird. There we go. Voila, halo is gone. I'm gonna get rid of that one too. Hold on one second. It sounds like someone's here. Nope. Just my neighbors. Okay, let's go ahead and I already saved that. Put Photoshop off to the side. Stick this over to the side, and we're going to open up the star lists. There we go. Now we can work on this a little bit. First thing I want to do, definitely again, is some more noise exterminator. See if it helps clean up this background. Yeah, it does. Do some of my sharpening. With the advanced sharpen tool. There we go. That's looking a little better. All right. Let's see. The next thing I would want to do is do an extraction of the luminance. So I can evenly saturate everything else in the background and in the nebula in itself. Just gonna blur it a little bit. Let's make the color pop a little bit. Mess with a little bit of the curves itself just to kind of add a little bit more contrast. Something like that. What's really cool is there's like this weird dark nebula that is associated with the left side of it. Just add that little bit. Let's add some dark structures. I'm going to tone it down like halfway for it. Ooh, that does not look good like that. Okay, I'm going to have to tone that down even more. Put it to like 0.1. See what that looks like. Okay, so this is the before, this is the after. It still bugs me that it keeps doing that in the center. Might just go without the dark structures, as a matter of fact. Still got to work with a little bit of the background, because I do see like a lot of like greens in there. I don't know if my modified SCNR script will help this. No, it just makes it blue. Need to tone it down. Let me just do a straight the SCNR. There we go. That does help a little bit too. Okay. Let's see. Would really like to get this background a little better. Pete, what do you suggest on helping clean up this background here a little bit? Just some more noise exterminator. Do you like mask off the background and not the actual object itself? I've done that before in the past to be able to preserve the details in the nebula in itself. So I can definitely do that. So I can just make the mask of this. And then invert it. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's actually like, light pollution gradient. I think it's noise that I'm dealing with. Yeah. Let's see what happens if I just keep masking out the background more to get it smoother. If I do it too much, sometimes it really diminishes the overall detail. Okay, so that's what it was before. I really don't even see a difference when I do that. This is why I need to go mono. For these super faint targets like this. You can do it with one-shot color, but you definitely lose the crisp detail that you would normally get. One day. One day I'll get there. Yeah, I like my stuff to be nice and crisp. Unfortunately, that's the biggest pet peeve that I have. But maybe I can work with this here once I start going in towards the selective color correction tool. And if I work into the shadows. Okay, so that's the shadow area. So that's what it's protecting. Yeah, I'm sure that I would get a lot better results from mono. M13, oh yeah. Yeah, because especially like if you're doing, a color camera on broadband, it's not that big of a deal. You can get away with it pretty good. It's when you start going into the narrowband aspect, when you're only using a small percentage of your sensor, that's where the detail starts going away from people who try to do, narrowband stuff with one-shot color cameras. Especially like, red, you're only using 25% of the sensor. The red pixels on the Bayer matrix. Where mono, you're using the entire sensor for just red or the hydrogen, which sucks. That's the worst thing. So that's working with those. See if I add a little bit of contrast in those areas. Like I said, eventually I'll get a mono. When? I don't know. I'm definitely ready for it. By far. I've been shooting with one-shot color camera now for 3 years. I mean, I've gotten some pretty amazing results with what you can do with an OSC, but I'm definitely ready to make the switch over. I just wish it wasn't so expensive for me to have to get all the SHO filters, all of the LRGB filters. If I wanted to get the 2600, that's mono. Like, we're talking like over $3,000. Especially if I want to keep APS-C. Now, I can go to like the 294 or something like that, but I really don't want to feel like dealing with the amp glow. But I know it's easily taken care of through flats and darks, but still. 294 is a good camera. Not doing 533. I hate the square sensor. It bothers me so much. Still, you know, waiting fingers crossed for if the 585 mono actually becomes a thing, but it doesn't seem like it's happening anytime soon. Because that, I would probably switch over. Yeah, there's no denying that mono is far superior. Especially when doing narrowband. Now I could save some money if I just do anything with a mono camera to be just like nebulas and stuff, as SHO. But then again, LRGB filters are not that expensive, though. You can get a decent set for, like, I've seen for, like, under $200, which isn't too bad. It's the darn narrowband filters that kill you. Yeah, that's what I use too, is 2-inch filters, because I don't want to have to deal with vignetting really badly, especially when using an APS-C. But if I do go to like a 294 or something, or a 585, I can get away with some of the smaller filters then, like a 36 millimeter or something. So it saves a little bit of some cost. But I just love having an APS-C sensor because, I mean, look at the huge field of view I can have with the 135. It's ridiculous. And having it cropped down is a big difference too. Oh, man. I'm trying to figure out what more else I can do with this. Oh yeah, the chroma ones, the 2-inch ones. Oh my gosh, isn't it like it's like 1,500 USD? I don't know what that is over in there in the UK. I'm sure it's probably more, unfortunately. 16,000. Holy crap. There's no way. All right, I have to go look at this now. We're going to take a pause here for a moment. I got to see this. There's got to be a whole set here somewhere. Okay, so, oh my gosh, even a 36. Oh, that's unmounted. Oh my god. Chroma LRGB mounted 2-inch, almost $2,000. Oh my goodness. Wow. So those are unmounted. I don't want unmounted. Come on, where is mounted filters? Oh, yikes. And that's for 3 nanometer? $4,000. Oh my god. 5 nanometer, you're looking at saving 1,000. Oh my gosh, if you were to get a 3 nanometer set of the SHO and a LRGB at 2-inch, it's $6,000. No way. Ain't no way I'd be paying that. I don't have that kind of money. Absolutely not. That's wild. Oh, that's gross. Oh wow, the Optolong ones have actually gone up. Oh man, that is gross. Yeah, I would say you would gone with Aunt Leah. You're saving about $1,500. Oh my god. So LRGB has definitely gone up too. Looks like. Man, what happened to the LRGB sets I seen for like 200? Oh, okay. It must have been the ZWO ones that I've seen. Yeah, see, like that. Like that set there would actually... wouldn't be too bad. Man, that's cheaper too. I love how this camera is now cheaper. Because I thought, before I got my 2600, I actually looked at the 294, the Go Mono. And this set here was like $3,200. Now it's $2,385, where I paid like $2,280 for my 2600 and the filter drawer with it. Dang, that actually kind of makes me mad. Because I'd be satisfied with this easily. I think the filters are 7 nanometer, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 7. 7 would do just fine. I don't have that crazy of light pollution anyway. Huh. It's a shame they don't have a 294 mono with a just a regular like SHO, not the LRGB. Something to think about for the future, but it's not going to be anytime soon. Broke. Okay, back to this. Don't really need to enhance the colors at all, because the colors of this is good. I just need to work on the actual... That bundle over there is about 3,000. Yeah. Oh no, please tell me PixInsight's not going to crash on me now. Don't you do this. What the world? But I can mint... What? What's happening here? Oh... I hate to do this. I can't do anything. Oh man, I'm gonna have to close out and restart. Man. But at least I have it saved starless. There is that. I just have to get the stars back again. Ah, dang it. Sure, let's restart. Also, if anyone happens to see, give you a little sneak preview of a new product that'll be coming available. For those who want to polar align their sea stars, you have a little finder for it now. That will stick underneath. I have to try that. Yep, we gotta restart. All right. Oh, that's annoying. I'm gonna say, luckily, I have the starless one. Also, I gotta bring my stupid icons back over here. That was loud. Alright. Open up the original file again. And I'm going to have this updated on my Google Drive too. So whenever you get a chance to, Pete, if you want to have another stab at it, go for it. Range selection. Nope, not range selection. No, not rescale. Now I'm thrown off. Yeah, eventually I would like to get mono. I think the wife would be very upset with me if I spend $2,000 right now. All right, let's go ahead and color calibrate so I can get my stars back. There you go. Your processing day. Hey, Michael. Thanks for joining. We had to take a little bit of a step back because my Pixin site decided to crash on me. I keep hearing like what sounds like someone is in my driveway. But my neighbors are having some sort of get-together, it looks like. Yeah, there's no one in my yard. Yeah, I think finally after this target, I'm going to be switching back to my ES-102. There's nothing really else that I want to do with the Rockin'-On. I've been using that a lot lately. I actually did go back to the Comet as well, and I got 2 hours on that. Right next to some beautiful star clusters too. So that's going to be another thing that I'll process later on. Surprised the Comet is still that bright. Was my little fill-in target last night while waiting for the spaghetti to get high enough over the trees and not be like 10 degrees off the horizon. Plus we had a little bit of some wind last night too. Well, sometimes it happens to me based on certain scripts, like the selective correction tool. For whatever reason, if I hit just the X on the outside, it like freezes, and I realized I did that. Like, there's also some things too that like cause so many different iterations. Like, if I put a mask on top of the HDR, like inside of the PixInsight toolbox, it will also just keep constantly making like temporary files over and over and over, and it gets stuck in an endless loop. And then I have to force close PixInsight again. It's been a bit since we had an update on PixInsight, which is kind of weird. Hey, Astroduck. Figured I'd do a stream during the day, because Chuck will probably be streaming tonight, later. And I want to just process this and just get you guys' help and opinions on it. All right. Let's go ahead and remove the stars so I have my stars back again. Also, yeah, I know. For me to stream is kind of a rare thing. I'm hoping, if these don't take too much of filament-wise, but I do have boxes for my custom filters. I made one for my own self for the C-Star. I mean, it's a tad bit too small, but you're able to close it up and do that. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's doing an SHO of his California. Yeah. Alright, let's get this save as stars. We'll do this as a backup. Okay, so this is what we had left off beforehand, and I mean, it looks pretty good, but I still want it to be just a little bit better. I never really messed with these, like, crazy high sliders, just out of curiosity. I know. I wish I should have done sulfur for my California. What did that do? Did that improve anything? Oh, that actually did. Let's do a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay. That actually sharpened it pretty good using the max settings on both. But did I lose detail? What, Minx? Yes, hello, kitty cat. It's not dinner time yet, honey. No, it's not dinner time yet. Hey, come here. Come here. Come up in your chair. There you go. Minx the processing cat. She likes to be my little companion while I work on a computer a lot of times. That's pretty good. I'm surprised that actually cleaned things up a little bit, but I feel like I lost a little bit of detail. Yes? What? You want my lap? Come on. Come here. Oh, come here, Tubby. You know, sometimes you get too big to be held. This is 32 hours now of integration over 5 nights. With a one-shot color camera. Now, sometimes this works. Of using Blur Exterminator. Be able to sharpen some of the non-stellar stuff, but sometimes it makes it look really weird. Could use luminance mask, you're right. Michael, do you shoot with one-shot color or mono? Oh no, that looks really bad. All right, let me use your idea here, Pete. Because if you're doing mono, probably like 40 hours would work in that kind of environment. If you were doing a one-shot color in a Bortle 8 or 9, I wouldn't even bother. To be quite honest, I wouldn't even bother. Yeah. See, like, I live in a Bortle 4, And it's taken over 30 hours now to at least make it look somewhat cleaner at this point. Now, Pete, when you make your luminance mask, do you do mask blur over it? Enter a manual PSF to limit how much it sharpens. Interesting. I think even Chuck tried it in Detroit with mono. And he got like 40 some hours or something. Or was that the squid? And I think he even gave up. Nope, just use it raw. Okay. I'm going to do that noise exterminator for all of those. Air quality index. What's this? Oh, co-level green. Secret chat. For work-wise. I don't really notice a difference with the luminance mask. Unless do you just keep doing like multiple runs of it. Oh, okay, I see what's going on. Okay, we're just gonna do it as is. Because that seemed like it didn't really do too much. It just made some like weird areas sharper. I think if I tone down the detail to like, I would say like 70%. All right, before, after. Before, after. It definitely did clean it up a little bit. Okay, let's use the luminance again. See if I run that through with Blur Exterminator. And you enter your own PSF then. Crank that down to like 40. Because like the colors and stuff, like it's perfect. I like the colors. I just need to clean up the image itself to make it look a little better. I think that was pretty subtle. Something happened. Excuse me 1 second. My neighbors are screaming for help or something. 1 second. Oh, okay, good. Their puppy had escaped. Oh, hey, Chuck. Yeah, I heard screaming, and they just got a new puppy next door, and I guess they got out, and they were chasing after it. Okay, so this is the difference between those. Let's see. Don't really see much of a difference on that. Maybe if I put a little bit more of the PSF. Yeah. It's probably about as clean as I'm going to be able to get this. Without, like, sacrificing a lot of detail, unfortunately. Make this pop a little more. Don't want to make it too red. All right, let's see with another round of this. For one final cleanup. No. Just a little bit of some detail enhancement. Left or right, yeah. But how I feel anymore is left or right. Alright, what's this looking like? Let me do a little bit of final GHS. Maybe darken up the background a little bit. There's a fly that keeps flying around my head. Does anyone else have any more ideas that I can do that I'm just not thinking of right now to help this? I'll still add my more saturation to it. Actually, you know what? Let me get rid of this luminance mask, and I just want to do the nebula itself. So let's go over to the range mask. Make my own. Alright, now let's just try and put some saturation on just the nebula itself. A little bit of some luminance contrast. One last denoise. No detail enhancement. It's just to clean it up. Well, I think this is probably the best I'm going to be able to get with this. Maybe a smallest SCNR on the green that I still see in the background. Do like another. Well, this might be a print it. So let's go work with the stars a little bit here then. Still looking pretty good, but it's still not where I would want it, sadly. But I know that's just not going to be possible with an OSC with this target. So it's going to be as good as it gets. So let's go over to SETI Astro's Star Stretch. I'm looking for like more like crisp detail. That's the biggest pet peeve of mine is, you know, not looking like it's grainy or anything. But I know it's just not going to be possible with an OSC in this target. And it's not because of like light pollution or anything. It's just because of, you know, only using part of the sensor because of the Bayer matrix. I know that's what it is. Is an image ever good enough? I know. I just set very high standards for myself. That's the biggest problem with me. I set too high standards for myself. So remove the green, color boost, execute. All right, let's just put the stars back and we'll see what this looks like. Oh, what is going on there? Why does the background look like that? Is it from the stars? That looked really weird. All right, Chuck. Thanks for stopping by, man. Let me darken up that background. That looked really weird. I'm not sure what that was. The background just does not look good. Why is that? Huh. I am not sure what's going on. Did I push it too much in the background and I just created like a ton of noise? So let's do an experiment. Let's go all the way back to the very, very beginning of this. I'm going to see if this is actually my stars that are stretching that are causing this problem, or it's something that I've done. Thank you, Michael, for stopping by. I'm sure we'll all see each other later this evening. No. Huh. I wonder if it's my stretching. Let's just do one round of noise exterminator on this. And then add the stars. It's gotta be my stretch. Oh, man. Well, luckily I have a backup here. So, But the color calibration, remove the stars. Won't do any noise reduction stuff. But remove the stars. Actually, let me do. I almost just like feel like I have to start over. Something really strange happened in the stretch that it really messed with the background. Let me do that so I can do a DB. So you mentioned Pete, if you're still here, you mentioned that you do a lot more work in with DBE. Just out of curiosity, what Graxpert does. Must spend an hour on DBE. Wow. So I don't really see any gradients at all in this. This is with that auto stretch script I have. I'm thinking it was my GHS stretch. 200 to 300 points. Oh my gosh. I mean, I can really go to the max for this. Put that down to like 6. Smoothing factor 0.8. Do like 10. Let's do like 50 in a row. See what happens. Delete all these extra points that I don't need. I'm just gonna put some points through there. That's about as protective as you could possibly get. So if I do it without normalization. Hello? I also feel like I just lost a lot of detail in that one nebula. Yeah, I definitely did. I need to protect that nebula region next to it as well. Now I see why you said it takes like so much time. Until I start randomly clicking on everything. I know this is not the most entertaining of me clicking like 10,000 times around this object. Just trying to preserve that little faint nebula that's next to it. let's give that a go. It looked like that didn't do anything. I feel like Graxpert did a better job on this. I think it did, yeah. So that's that. My GH stretch. I'll preserve the detail, but it made everything look kind of dark on that. There is a method to my madness, I swear. I don't want to be clipping that detail either. Let me get this the same size as here. We'll do a good old left or right of where we should start from. All right, a left or a right? Kind of leaning more towards the right. I'll even zoom in here too. I think the one on the right is definitely a little bit sharper. See, they just far more background detail on the left. Interesting. Okay. Well, let's see if we can get it out of there. Okay. Definitely got more of the background now. That looks a little cleaner. Yeah. I've never messed with the saturation aspect of this. So I think that looks pretty good. Just need to add some contrast to it. All right, we'll stick that aside. That does look better. It does look at least a little cleaner for the nebula itself. But let me get rid of this stupid halo because it's bothering me. Delete it off of here. Starless. Not sure what that is, but I'll get rid of it. All right, save. Do some sharpening before I put some noise to it. It's a noise exterminator. Okay. What did it do to that? Oh, so much trial and error for this. What is it doing to that, though? Did the sharpening do that? I think my sharpening is what did it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's go up a tick for detail. Nope, don't want to have it blown out too much. Let's see about my normal that I have. So it looks pretty good. Okay, Let's do some luminance mask. Just want to add a little bit of saturation to it. I'm not going to go overboard. This target is very finicky of what it wants. Okay, let's see where we are at. I want to add these stars back. Background's still a little noisy. I do want to darken my background a little bit more. Try not to clip too much of the data. Okay. I don't actually hate this. I don't actually hate that. Although my stars look a little weird. I'm going to do a stretch so I can take these stars. Because those stretch stars I have are a little weird. So I'm going to get rid of the stars that I have. And I'll do my own coloring of them. Yeah, I can definitely tell a difference for sure with the extra integration time, without a doubt. But I still think, you know, if I were to keep going with it, I think I'm going to be hitting a point where it's not going to matter much more. A little bit of some weird noise in the stars, too. There we go. That helped. All right. Stars. I'm going to get rid of the starless one because it just looks bad. Okay, let's see. Oh, but what is it doing there? It's making those weird artifacts. I'll do a denoise with no detail sharpening. But it still does it. Well, guess there's not much that I can do. So that's what I started with. Is it the noise reduction doing it? It's a fly. I think it's the noise. It's the noise reduction that's causing this weird artifact to show up. So, okay. I need to find something. I need to protect that area. Okay, now let's see what happens. Because if not, that was going to bother me like no other. Okay, it's better? I mean, it's better than what it was, at least. I can be happy with that. It's much better than what it was. Let's darken. Is my... Okay, I was about to say, is my mask still on there? Right there. Let's do a red mask. So I think we're almost there now. I think we are almost there. No, don't mess with the green. Okay. Now we're getting that pop. Okay. Those areas are still bothering me. Let's see if that ruins it or not. Hey Miles, thanks for joining. The focal length for this is 135 millimeters with a Rockinon 135 with the ASI 2600 MC Pro APS-C sensor. It's pretty wide field of view for sure. Oh yeah, it's definitely completely underrated lens. You know, the talk about, you know, the Red Cat 51's the best thing, but for like half the price, you get a faster focal length and a wider view. Okay. Let's add the stars in. Oh, you had a Rockinon 135? Ah. Well, luckily they're not that expensive. I've also seen them in like the secondhand market at times, like under 300 on like Astromart or Cloudy Nights. So it would be might be a little better if you can probably find one that is like used, so you can save some money. It's definitely worth it. And yeah, Pete, and it is a larger objective lens, where the Red Cat 51, it's a 51 millimeter optic, where the Rokinon is about 76, 77. So you get a little bit more light transition and be able to shoot this down to f2. This was shot at f4 because of the filters that I have, the Optolong L Ultimate. It only works down to about a f4 without having crazy band shift issues. I would like to get like a faster, like a high speed filter just for this, but I can't really justify it. Of dumping like another $300 to $400 for a high speed filter just to go to f2, where I can still use this at f4. And that's another thing I got to think about too if I ever go to mono. If I'm going to be using this camera lens, I can't really go down to f2 either if I do a 3 nanometer filter. I can get away with a 7. It won't matter too much. f4 is still pretty fast, for sure. What's really nice is be able to use this lens setup with like broadband. It's crazy of like how well that like you can get it. So here, I'll show you an example of some of the stuff. I'll go on Astrobin. So like just recently, here I have an image of the Lacerda Nebula complex in Lacerda. I'm not sure why it's fuzzy on here at the moment. But this was shot at f2. This is 24 hours of data on at least the broadband side. And then I added a night of the HA with the Optolong filter. So I end up being like, what is it, 26 hours total? It looks really good. Another like semi-recent one. This ended up being a top pick on Astrobin. Is the Cepheus Molecular Cloud Complex. This was all broadband here at f2. Got the Dark Shark. You got the Angelfish. You had the Cave, and then up here in the corner is actually my discovery. This is a discovered variable nebula that I saw visually back in 2008 and was able to finally image it because it's active, surprisingly, at this time. So perfect timing for it. And this was about 24 hours of broadband. And that f2 really comes in handy for sure. If you ever get a chance to get another Rokinon, do so. It's definitely worth it. Because I only use 2 imaging scopes right now, but I kind of have a big gap. I have the Rokinon 135, but then I also have a Explorer Scientific 102. So you go from focal lengths of 135 to 571 when I have the reducer in there. And then if I'm using the full focal length, it's at 714. So that gap between 135 and 571 is big. How did I find that? Completely random. It was actually completely random. One night, like, I'll tell this story. So one night back in 2008, I wasn't doing astrophotography. Then at the time, I was a visual astronomer at the time. I had a 12-inch Meade light bridge. My buddy had a custom-made 14.5 truss tube Dobsonian. And we would, under like new moon nights, I'll always go over there because he had a little bit darker skies where he lived in Ridgely, Maryland. And we were just, looking forward just some random planetary nebulas, like some stellar planetary nebulas visually. And we happened to come across, like, we were in the same area, and we happened to know this, like, nebula that was just, you know, glowing. And we were using filters, like an oxygen 3 filter, and I had my Orion Ultra Block filter as well. Sometimes planetary nebulas and stuff respond to that. And we were kind of going back and forth. We're like, this is a nebula of some sort. We were looking at every single chart that we had available to us, and we're like, what is this thing? It is not cataloged anywhere whatsoever. So we did some sketches of it. I have the book somewhere of that. I was like sketches of the star field, write down the RA and declination, and we were like telling some people, we're like, hey, this is not inside of like any sort of like catalog at all. We don't know what this is. So we send our findings, because we do have an observatory over on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay, the Townsend Observatory. We sent our findings to them. They have a big 16-inch SCT, and they spent some time there as well to looking at the image. And at the time, it was starting to fade off. But going back through so many catalogs of like several months, we come to find out that this was undiscovered, that it was a variable nebula that sometimes gets active, that you can see visually. And by the time we saw it, it was actually visible in telescopes, and then it disappeared like really quickly. There's another nebula like that also in Cepheus 2. It's called the Gubadagian. It's a heck of a name, but it's actually not too far away from the Ghost and the Iris Nebula. It's also a variable nebula that is active, and then it kind of dies off. So it's kind of like a variable star, but it's a nebula. But there is a white dwarf that's on the inside of that nebulosity, and when that kind of like radiates out at times, that would actually make the nebula visible at times, which is really cool. It's a very weird nebula that responds to basically kind of like how a nova would do, would like, you know, send off a bunch of gas, like ionized gas around these surrounding areas, and then it, you know, dies off back and forth. That's kind of like how variable nebulas work, and we just happen to be looking at the right place at the right time for something that wasn't discovered, and we actually got to name it as well as CH1. C as in my buddy Charles, not Charles like Chuck Astrophotography, but CJ, that's what he goes by, and me, Hunter, as CH1. So it's really cool. And then I was able to actually capture it too visually, which is I was able to actually image it, and this is the first image of this target now, which is really cool that I have it, and I have it framed up on my wall for the first discovery that I have. I also have two other discoveries as well. I have a quasar that was shown. I had to do a lot of research for that, especially dealing with redshift, and come to find out it's like over like it was like approximately about 5.2 billion light years away. That was also a random find. It's actually not too far away from Messier 106. That's how I found that one. And then I was around the same time when the Surfboard Galaxy had a new supernova, and I was one of the first to happen to spot that. I spotted that visually first, and then imaged it like the next night, and then a collaboration with a few other astrophotographers and like observatories, and in with that list too, my name is on it as well. So technically, I have 3 discoveries, and I'm still looking for more if I can. But yeah, that's the background of CH1. So let's go ahead now, add the stars to this. And I think this is probably going to be calling it good at this point. I don't think I can get this any better. Still a little bit fuzzy. I think this is the best I'm going to get with my own self here. I know Pete's gonna, work on this here come next week, and he's just gonna blow me away and show me how inferior I am at processing supernova remnants. But this is about as probably as good as I'm gonna get it for at least my own self. Definitely the little bit of some integration has helped. See if I can add a little bit of some, I can try the dark structures again. Just add a little bit more to it. But man, this target is a pain in the butt for color cameras. Yeah, it looks pretty good, print it. Still not really super satisfied like I would want to, but I'll see what you come up with. Because I liked your other one that you did with the previous data beforehand. I can show that here as an example. I just got to go over towards Discord to find it. Yeah, and this is what Pete came up with here. Your background is definitely a little better. The detail in with this. But I think it's a good first run on this too. I'm probably more than likely going to keep going back to this. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Dude, got some color noise in there. I'm just gonna save this. And then I'll do a final few little things in Photoshop. Like some color noise reduction. And some of my profile actions that I have. And the camera raw filter. Definitely use that color blend. Color blotch reduction. I've had these astronomy tool plugins for Photoshop for like, oh my gosh, 13 years or so. Make the stars a little smaller if I wanted to. So not as prominent. Boost up the clarity. Add a little bit of highlights to kind of boost it up. Luminance noise reduction. Just a little bit. Contrast. Well, I think that's all I got for this. I'm sure I'm probably going to spend all weekend redoing this. Wouldn't surprise me. Definitely supernova remnant processing is not my strong suit, without a doubt. Also need to take this green out. Hues and saturation. There we go. We'll call it good. Print it. I'm sure this probably won't be the last edit that I do on this. Also, just noticed that there's magenta. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of that magenta crap. Okay, well, this is my print it for now. I'll look at what with a fresh pair of eyes, probably going in towards tomorrow. But Pete, I'll upload the data for you. I'm probably going to be using your edit more than likely, because you are a wizard after all. But yep, I guess we will call that good, finalized. Lots of HA around the outsides. But I'll post it in Discord and stuff like that, but I'm sure I'm going to redo it. Okay, well, I've been on here for about 2 hours now. I think we're gonna call it a night. We'll be back on later when Chuck goes live. So thanks everyone for your help as always. I know. Me and you, Pete, we're like the dream team when it comes to getting some really good images out there. I got the data, you got the processing knowledge. But we'll go to call it here. Go get some dinner. Feed the little furry beast here. And I'll see you guys probably in a few hours in Chuck skies. Yeah, clear skies. See you, Astroduck. See you, Pete. See you, Miles. Bye, anyone else that happens to be lurking. And catch you next time.